Hello students, welcome to the next video of Snapshot Lesson 3rd Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesh Iyengar. Starting the lesson, I would like to introduce you about the lesson. This story moves around Ranga, the son of accountants, who is among one of brilliant come fortunate boys who go to city for modern English medium education and come back with modern thought about social and marriage life. One can hear sophisticated talk from such youth on social, economical, and conjugal life of the common people, their merit and demerit, etc. Such conversations are very common about the conjugal life, social, and economical life of the common people, their merit and demerit, whatever the things are. They are often against of child marriage. Such youths are often against of child marriage, that is before 18 years for the girls, but such youths get an opportunity to marry the girl of their own heart captivating. They forget all the sophisticated knowledge of English medium education and behave like a common youth of a village side or a countryside common person. The narrator takes you through journey where he changes Ranga's perceptions about marriage. Okay, the narrator takes you through a journey where he finds changes in Ranga's perception about marriage. Students, before starting of the lesson, let's have summary of it. The lesson starts when Ranga, the accountant's son, comes back from to his village Hosahali from Bangalore after the 6 months studies there. He had gone to Bangalore to pursue his studies in such stream in which many villagers do not get the opportunity. The whole village gets excited to see Ranga and thus they go there around his home only to see how he would have changed. Mind the students, they have come to see Ranga that how he has changed from coming back to their village from Bangalore. The narrator has beautifully given the detail of his village Hosali and also describes how every authority was responsible in forgetting to mention it in the maps. As the story proceeds, he admires Ranga and wants to get him married. But to his dismay, Ranga has different view about marriage. His opinions are changed from the common persons. In the matter of marriage, he displays very modest and prudent view, but the narrator knows the weak psychological point of a youth. The narrator dramatizes the entire union of Ranga and Ratna, an 11 years old niece of Ramarao. The girl has a very sweet voice and can play veena and harmonium. At first, the narrator tells him that she is married to see how it affects Ranga. He narrator says that she is married and he tells to see how this statement affects Ranga. As it was expected, Ranga was disappointed. The narrator then took the active help of village Shastri to say things in his favor. He then took Ranga to visit him, where he predicted that Ranga has a girl in his mind and her name resembles something found in the ocean. Syama, the narrator, guesses her name to be Ratna, but again she is married. On their way back, they confirm that Ratna is not married, only to find Ranga happy and full of hope. On the other hand, the Shastri disagreed on having staged anything predetermined. He claims to have said whatever his predictions showed. However, at the end, Ranga and Ratna are happily married with a 3-year-old son. They have named the son after the narrator's, narrator's name. Ratna is also pregnant with another child. At the end of the lesson, the narrator concludes that he didn't bore his readers. Students, let's proceed on the paragraph wise explanation. Paragraph first, let's see its reading. When you see this title, some of you may ask Ranga's marriage. Why not Rangnatha Vivah or Rangnatha Vijaya? Well, yes, I know I could have used some other mouth filling one like Jaganatha Vivah, Jaganatha Vijaya or Girija Kalyana. But then, this is not about Jagannath's victories or Girija wedding. It's about our own Ranga's. It's about our own Ranga's marriage, and hence no fancy title. Hosahali is our village. You must have heard of it. No? What a pity. But it is not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. Those sahibs in England, writing in English, probably do not know that such a place exists, and so make no mention of it. Our own people too forget about it. You now know it is. They are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow it. When both the sahibs in England and our own geographers have not referred to it, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map. Can you? And so there is not even the shadows of our village on any map. Before the explanation of this paragraph, let's see some words before it. Mouth filling means very interesting. Hence means so, therefore, onwards to this point from this time. Okay? Fancy title. Fancy means the things which is based on imaginations. Title means topic. Here the topic Ranga's marriage. It is a fancy title, means imaginary title. Exists means alive. Exists means alive or in life, in present. A flock of sheep. It is collective noun. It is collective noun is equal to a herd of sheep. Okay? Or a group of sheep, a herd of sheep. Herd is often used for cattle, a herd of cattle. This is collective noun. And here a flock of sheep means a herd or a group of sheep. Refer to means mentioned it. Cartographer. Cartographer means one who draws the map of some country or some area, etc. Means the person who is expert of drawing maps is called cartographer. The shadow of means glimpse of. Now, students, see the explanation of this paragraph. The narrator in the beginning of the lesson talks about the title of the lesson. He points out to the reader about the appropriateness of the title. Why Ranga's marriage? Why not Rangnatha Viva or Rangnatha Vijaya or Girja Kalyana? But this story is not about Jagannath or the story Girja's wedding, the wife of Lord Shiva. Since the story is about their own Ranga's wedding, hence there is no fancy or fiction in the title. Now the author talks about the silly characteristics of his village people. His village is Hosahali, one of the common villages of India. According to the narrator, it is one of the famous villages for its stupid come humorous activity and event. The narrator expects reader that he might have heard of this village. If no, it's a big pity. Then he accepts not the fault of the reader as the name of this village has not been mentioned in any geography book. And if not mentioned, then those English sahibs, that is English officers, are responsible. But those English officers, while writing names in English, perhaps did not know that there is such village in existence, and so did not mention it. Even their own people also forget to mention the name of this village. The narrator expects that the reader not knows this village, as this village is like a herd of sheep or a flock, as like a herd, that is flock of sheep, possessing the mob intelligence, possessing the mob intelligence. As the one sheep walks into a pit or a ditch, the rest of sheep blindly follow it. Why it happens? Due to lack of personal intelligence. When both the English sahib in England and their own geographers have not referred to it, then how one can expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map? And so there is not even the shadow of their village on any map of India. Hello students, let's proceed on the second paragraph of this lesson. Reading. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsha, what the sweet Kariga Dabu is to a festive meal, then Hosali is to Mysore state what the feeling is to the Kariga Dabu. What I have said is absolutely true. Believe me, I will not object to your questioning it, but I will stick to my opinion. I am not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hosali. We have a doctor in our place. His name is Gunda Bhatta. He agrees with me. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. If anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says, "No, Anaya, I have left that to you." Running around like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time, though as a matter of fact, he has seen many. We have some mango tree in our village. Come visit us and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. Do not eat it. Do not eat it. Just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to your Brahmarandra. I once took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough we suffered from after that, it was when I went for the cough medicine that the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit. Now, students, before explanation of this paragraph, let's see some words. Went off. Off means astray from usual routine. Went off means astray or deviate from the main route, main path, main point. Karinga Dabu, a sweet dish of Karnataka filled with sugar and coconut like Gujia of North India. As I have made comparison as Karinga Dabu with Gujia of North India, our Gujia is filled with sweet dairy products. In the same way, Karinga Dabu is filled with sugar and coconut, and thus it becomes a sweet of festival. Absolutely, that is completely, entirely. Stick to means be rigid to. Stick to means be rigid to. Speak glowingly. Speak glowingly means speak in praise, speak in admiration, admiration of someone. Okay, and the next word, very good use of word flea pestered means flea infected dog. Okay, if the dog is infected with some flea, it does not remain peacefully at any place. It is very fickle and moving all the time because the dog is infected, the dog is pestered with flea. Flea is a kind of fly especially found on the tails of dog. Okay, I think the concept of flea is clear to you, that is related to dogs, and the dogs suffering from their bite, then you can say this dog is flea pestered. Brahmarandra, Brahmarandra, Brahmarandra. It is a metaphysical term and you can say spiritual practice, part of spiritual practice also, and the utmost opening near the sikha of the head, the utmost opening near the sikha of the head. Our expert of spiritualism, you can say expert of metaphysics, tell that Brahmarandra works as a valve in our head. It allows cosmic energy to enter in our body, but close it and make it remain in us and make benefit us from that cosmic energy. And these things occurs when we sit for meditation. Here, according to concept of this lesson, Brahmarandra means it is the utmost opening near the sikha of the head. It is the top of our body and through which vast of Brahm can enter our head and soul. So this is the utmost part, and the sourness of that mango goes straightly to this part of our body. Sourness you know already, citrusness. Citrus things, that is, they taste sour. Okay. Now see the explanation of this paragraph. The narrator remembers his deviation and speaks sorry for his went off in another direction. He highlights the place and importance of the village by company by by comparing it with Bharatvarsh and Mysore. Bharatvarsh and Mysore in it. You students know Bharatvarsh, a big country, a union of different states. Mysore, a part of India, a state of India. Now that state is known as Karnataka. Here, this state contains different kinds of tourist places, rich in scenery, rich in minerals, are many things, and cultural activities also you can say. The writer says that the Bharatvarsh and Mysore. According to narrator, if the state of Mysore is Bharatvarsh, students mind it. According to narrator, if the state of Mysore is Bharatvarsh, then this festive sweet Karinga Dabu is Mysore, and its filling, that is sugar and coconut etc., is Hosahali. Okay, without its filling, Karinga Dabu will not give any taste. In the same way, if in Mysore Hosahali is not, then the taste of Mysore would be not so sweet. Okay, this is opinion of the narrator. The narrator shows absolute faith in his comparison. In his opinion, what he has said is absolutely true. He is not going to object our, that is, reader's questioning, but he is rigid to his opinion. He says that he is not the only one person who speaks admiringly about Hosahali. The narrator says that they have a doctor in their dwelling place. His name is Gundavatta. That doctor also agrees with narrator. He has toured, he has travelled to a number of places and has been lived there for time being, but not in England. If anyone dares ask him whether he has been there, he says, "No, Anaya, I have left that place for you." He says that running, he speaks this statement, running around as a flea pistol dog, says, is not the work of his. He has seen a few places in his time. As a matter of fact, according to narrator, he has seen many places. As the author says, according to author, they have some mango trees in their village. The author, whose name is Sama, you will know afterwards when you proceed in this chapter. He says that they have some mango trees in their village. He advises to come and visit them. He would give you a raw mango from one of the trees. He thinks that the mangoes are too sour to eat. He advises not to eat. Just take a bite and you will feel the citrusness, sourness beyond to bear. The sourness will sure to reach the utmost part of your head known as Brahmarandra. That sourness will go straight to the Brahmarandra. The narrator recalls that once he took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All the family members ate it. After having it, they had to suffer from cough, and that cough was memorable. They had to suffer from memorable cough. The narrator acquainted himself with special quality of the fruit when he had gone for the cough medicine to the doctor.